a requested video that actually just sort of came about on Twitter. It was nothing I even thought about doing before, but actually, I did do like a music video review, like what it was like to work with Eminem, and I'll link that below. It's about my whole experience working on the Eminem video, which was sort of my grand, like, I felt like being in the Eminem video was sort of like as high as I could go in the music video industry. So I did do a video on that experience, and I will talk about it briefly in this one. But I was tweeting, it wasn't even throwback, but I would sometimes go on my Facebook page because I have albums now on my Facebook. I mostly just do mobile uploads, or whatever I have on Instagram usually goes on my Facebook. But back in the day, I used to do the album thing and upload from my like digital camera, and so I was like going through some of those, looking for a completely different picture, and I ended up seeing some of the music videos I did, and I came across the Amy Winehouse one, and I tweeted a picture and I was like, oh my gosh, Trish, I didn't even know you were in it, like crazy, what else have you done? And then I get lots of tweets all the time like, oh my gosh, were you in the All American Rejects video, were you in this video? Like, chances are yes, it probably was me. If you think it's me, it's probably me. And so I thought I would just do a whole kind of sit down video of it because a lot of you actually asked for it, and I thought, what awesomer idea, because it was such a big part of my life. Not only that, it was such a fun part of my life, and probably one of the most important, fulfilling parts of my life. So I figured I would just do a sit down talk through video on my music video experiences, how I got into it, how you can get into it, and all that fun stuff. Okay, so I guess I will just start at the beginning like I did on Twitter with my first music video, which happened to be an Amy Winehouse music video, which was a huge deal, not just for me because it was my first music video, but a huge deal in general that it was an Amy Winehouse music video. This was circa 2007, I want to say. So Amy Winehouse was definitely a bona fide superstar, definitely her rock star. She had her antics that she was up to. She was always in the news and the press, and she was definitely a big deal, and I couldn't believe that it was my first music video, and I was like so nervous, and it was such a huge deal for me, and it happened to be just right down the street from my apartment, which was perfect at the time because I didn't have a car, so I had to literally just like walk down the street, and it was like I said, it was just all perfect timing because I needed the money. It was closed and I didn't have a car, and it ended up being for a huge superstar. Now, if you actually watch the video, I am considered just an extra, but if you guys know anything about David LaChapelle, who was the director of the video, there is no such thing as an extra. He's very particular about who he casts and things. It's just a known fact. He's just very particular, even down to the last sequin. And the reason I say that is because I had to provide my own wardrobe, and so they tell you to bring options when you're a background, to bring your own options, and wardrobe will look at you and say, okay, that's good, whatever. So I had 2 scenes, well actually I had 3 outfits, but I was actually only in 2 scenes that you can see me in the video. And the first scene is like literally in the first 10 seconds, Amy comes out of this motel. It's a seafoam green motel, and it was on La Cienega, and I'm standing there as a hooker, and I'm talking to a man with a big afro, and you see me in a purple skirt and a red bikini top. And yes, if you go watch the video, I think I was 18 when I did it, and yes, I was a lot skinnier. You don't have to comment from the side. I'm very thin, I know, or thinner than what I am now. A lot of people were like, oh my gosh, you were so skinny. Even though at the time, people still called me fat, so on MySpace and stuff, so go figure that one. But the reason I say sequin is because that particular outfit had a little like sequin thing that covered my stomach. It was like a, I don't know, I guess it could have been like a sequin mini skirt sort of thing, or a tube top, and I just slid it down to my stomach because I felt fat even at that age. Even though I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd kill for that body now. But I wore it, and the wardrobe stylist approved it, and we got onto set, and David was like, lose the sequins, hate sequins, no sequins, just lose it. And I was just like, but my stomach, which you really shouldn't do, and I've learned this, is when you're self-conscious, you usually won't get the part or you'll get fired, and that happened to me twice. Not with music videos, but different thing. So if you're hired, and you should have confidence that they hired you for a reason. They know your body, you're hired. But I was, and I remember saying like, oh, well, my stomach, he goes, it doesn't matter, take it off. And so I did, and that's what you see in the final video of it. Was that outfit without the sequin thing. So like I said, he's really meticulous and really just specific, and that's kind of what makes him so brilliant. And I didn't realize David LaChapelle was the director until I got onto set, and then it made me like 10 times more nervous. And you'll see in a couple more music videos that I talk about how directors also affect your performance in music videos, and also how they affect your career. So how I got the Amy Winehouse video. So I was brand new to Hollywood, probably like 6 months, and up until that point, the only jobs I had was the Greg Barrett Show on TV, which I did like 6 or 7 episodes at that point, and I just finished Who Wants to Be a Superhero. And I got the Greg Behrendt show on Craigslist, and then Who Wants to Be a Superhero came because I knew someone on the Greg Behrendt show that was producing that show. So basically all I knew was Craigslist. That's all I knew how to get jobs, and they had an entertainment section. I believe they still do. There was a TV film section, and then there was like an entertainment section just in general. And I found it on the entertainment section of Craigslist, and I didn't even go in for an audition. It literally just someone, it was, I can't think, I used to know all the extra castings really well because, but the guy who ran it, he had seen me on the Greg show, and so he's like, oh, love it, like send more pictures and we'll get you approval from the director. And I was booked. Like, it was so crazy. And so it was weird to me that they were casting on Craigslist, and back in the day Craigslist was 100% more legit than it is now. I think the last time I looked on Craigslist for jobs was maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and it just is all so shady. And I know a lot of girls who are still on Craigslist for entertainment jobs, and I just wouldn't recommend it as much anymore because it's just, there's better options, and I'll tell you those better options later. But you know, if you're not in the LA area, maybe Craigslist is better, or even if you are, just all I say is be safe and make sure it's legit, meaning like if someone gives you a location and it's an apartment building, like don't go in. Make sure there's like people with headsets on. You know, if it's an Amy Winehouse video, I knew there was going to be a big crew, and there was parking saying crew this way, blah blah blah. So I knew that it was legit, and it was in public on Hollywood Boulevard, so I was just like, okay. And I do have horror stories from Craigslist, and that's a whole other video. So yeah, so I just sent some extra pictures, and he's just like, you're booked, and I was so excited. So I got to set, and I walked there, and I was in the holding area, and it was just under tents, and you're all on folding stool chair things, and we were all sitting around, and I did not go into my job at the time. I couldn't get the day off, so I just called in sick, and unfortunately for me, my job was also in walking distance from my house, so people ended up seeing me because it was kind of hard to miss, right? And so I ended up losing my job over it, but it was totally fine. It was totally worth it too. So we were all just sitting around, and there was only like 2 other girls. There was me, and then there was a blonde with like huge tits, like her bleached blonde hair. She's in the video walking behind Amy Winehouse on Hollywood Boulevard, and I just remember people just like oogling over her, and it's just like, oh my god, she's so pretty. And I was just like in love with that look and her lifestyle, and she just had designer bags, and she just looked so cool, and it was like something I really wanted to be. And then the other girls were either drag queens, most of them were drag queens, and then there was a couple trans girls. And it was really new for me, all of that, like drag queens and you know, just all of the flamboyantness of it was new, because there was, you know, homely looking people, and then there was all, you know, they had a lot of like what do you call them, like cholo looking people, like the Mexican gangster types, which is what they casted for, obviously. So there was, and then there was like pimps, and it was just a new experience for me, because where I come from in the Midwest, it's a town called Pecatonic, Illinois, and it's 100% white. So not that I was like scared or anything or like racist towards them, it was just new for me to see all these people, this eclectic mix. So it was overwhelming, to say the least, but I just know I was like really insecure about it. Even next to that blonde chick with the huge tits, I was just like, oh well, this is not sexy compared to her, because we were supposed to be like streetwalker types. Our first shot was on Hollywood Boulevard, and you can see me walk past Amy Winehouse in like maybe the 40-second mark, shortly after my motel entrance. But it's just the back of my hair. My hair was gold, and I have a pink and black dress on in that one, and that was my lingerie. And I remember thinking I was like really sexy, and then I like showed up, and I was like, okay, not as sexy as I thought, because that girl upstaged me. But I did not get to talk to Amy Winehouse. She wasn't like very personable, but we did see her sit underneath the tents with her maybe then husband at the time, and she was definitely out of it. I do remember her just like making out with him, just like leaning on him. But yeah, she didn't really talk to any of the talent, really. Even the director and her, they didn't really have a rapport like you would normally see on a music video set. So it was, but she was larger than life, and it did inspire me to be on there, and it's something that solidified me being in Hollywood and LA, no matter how hard it was. It's like this is what I wanted to do. Like it excited me. I was nervous, but it had a rush. And when the director would come over and talk to me, like David LaChapelle talking to me, directing me, it gave me a rush, and I was just like, I felt like I knew this is what I wanted to be doing. So that was great, because I got to add that to my resume. So having that music video under my belt was a huge deal, because it showed that I had experience. And then also on a resume, you generally would put your director, and my director was David LaChapelle, so it was really awesome to have that name and that I was in it, and it just was a really nice legit piece of work to have on my resume. And so from that, I I got a call from Adult Swim, and it was for the Tim and Eric season 5, and if you guys watched the Tim and Eric Awesome Show, it was season 5 that I was on, and I actually had gotten called for them before, and they did shoot in Hollywood, but I didn't know who they were, and I didn't have access to internet that often. I had an internet cafe I would go to, so I couldn't really look them up, or I didn't bother to look them up, so I turned down Tim and Eric's show so many times before season 5. Like, they called me, I don't know, probably a dozen times, and I didn't do it because I didn't think it was legit. And so finally they called me, and they offered me more money than they did in the past, and they're like, we want to do this song, and it's about puberty, and I was like, okay, whatever, like, book me. And it was a music video, but it was in for their show, and Tim and Eric actually working on that show led me to my appearances on Nathan For You, which is a huge show now. So Comedy Central is very, like, close-knit, and they reuse you for a thing. And actually, Tim from Tim and Eric's show had called me for other things, and then I was living with my dad, so I couldn't really come to LA as much, so I couldn't really do as many things, opportunities that they were giving me, and so I kind of regret that. But the Tim and Eric Awesome Show for puberty was a huge deal as well. So this got me more notoriety on MySpace for some reason. I don't know if it was like a big thing on MySpace, the Tim and Eric show. I know it was just a big thing in general, but yeah, on MySpace it was like a really big deal. So people were commenting and saying like, oh my gosh, I loved you on Tim and Eric. Oh my gosh, are you the girl from Tim and Eric's puberty? And again, I was kind of just, I was the only girl in it, so I was like Eric's date, I think, yeah, Eric's date, and we were like laughing at Tim for not going through puberty. And I just remember meeting them, and it was like dark, and we were in a dark alley, but before that I went to their production studios, and I remember meeting them and thinking they were so off and so weird, and like, oh my god, what did I get myself into? What is this? Like, I'm a legit actress, like, even though I wasn't, but you know what I mean. And so yeah, so on Tim and Eric it was really fun, and they had told me to, if I had a manager, I said no, and they're like, how do you get your jobs? I said kind of just word of mouth, which I was at that point, and I definitely don't want to say Craigslist. And they're like, they gave me websites, 2 websites that meant a lot to me, or that helped me a lot in booking future roles, and that is LA Casting and Actors Access. Actors Access is a national one, and LA Casting is clearly just LA, but sometimes they have Vegas and New York calls. They might be New York Casting now, I'm not sure. So with these websites, you can basically submit yourself. You don't really need representation. You can submit yourself to casting companies that are legitimate, and most of the time it's usually just one line or background work. But like I said, I never really dog on background actors because 1, it's a really hard job, 2, you take a lot of shit, and 3, it can actually get you to places. You hear stories all the time about Kevin Bacon starting out as an extra, and just a lot of people that were extras. Channing Tatum, Megan Fox was an extra in Transformers, so it's legit, you know, and a lot of people, like I said, do look down on it, and a lot of even the main actors look down on it, but everyone has to start somewhere, and sometimes background acting can totally work out for you and your advantage. And I know for me personally, I've gotten a lot of work just from talking to people about, you know, how to go about different things. So it can be a really, really awesome thing if you can stick it out, because sometimes they will treat you like cattle and, you know, make you wait to go to the bathroom, and it can be frustrating, but it can be also really fun, and I found it to be really fun. So yeah, so, and they do have like speaking parts and like non-union parts, theater parts. They have like a bunch of things on both of those websites that, like I said, you can submit yourself, you can look for, you can put in your type, your headshot, and a reel now, I think, even, and it's just really nice. But it is a lot of work, and it's very time consuming because there's so many actors out there, so you have to be one of the first to get in so they can see your face. You have to have great headshots, and but yeah, it's cool. It's like, I don't know, oh my god, it was like $7 a month when I was there, or when I was on it, and now I think it's something like $25 a month or something, I don't know, but supply and demand, I suppose. So yeah, from the Tim and Eric show I found out about that, so I was able to submit myself for music videos. So one of the biggest music videos then came along, and it was life-changing for me, career-changing for me, and I found it through LA Casting, and that of course was the Eminem We Made You music video. So when I got the Eminem video, okay, so let me just like start it out. So I had my headshots on there, and I only had 3 headshots at the time, and they were casting for a plus-size Jessica Simpson, because at that time, just all about the timing, Jessica Simpson was in the news for her weight gain. She was wearing those mom jeans, and everyone thought she looked really fat, and this was around 2009, and so Jessica Simpson was obviously just under scrutiny for her weight, and she just could not catch a break. And Eminem, of course, if you guys are familiar, he's really known for parodying current events in a lot of his songs, starting from Real Slim Shady. He had a lot of he had like Tom Green parody and Pam and Tommy, and then just like kept up with it throughout the decade with Just Lose It. He did Michael Jackson. So this one, he really took it and really parodied the women that were being under scrutiny, including Amy Winehouse, including Jessica Alba, Jennifer Aniston, Lindsay Lohan and her girlfriend at the time, and Kim Kardashian, and then of course Jessica Simpson, who was right at the top of the video. And fortunately for me, the song actually calls Jessica Simpson Sing the Chorus, and so I got to just start off the video, which is awesome and wonderful. And so I was one of the considered principal actresses of the music video, which got paid more, which had more screen exposure. Oh, Sarah Palin was also in that one. The porn Sarah Palin, Lisa Ann. But yeah, I just remember that experience being one of my best experiences to date. Again, I got more nervous when I saw the set because again, I was just in holding, and I did a whole, like I said, I did a whole thing on the experience, and I'll link it below about like the audition process and how I actually got casted for it and all that stuff and going through it. But when I got down to set and seeing like how professional it was like the most professional like when I've been on that to date at that point, because I was 20, it was March 2009, so I was like 20 years old when I did it. And I don't know, I just remember just getting really nervous once I got to set, and I was the only one there, well not the only one there, but I'm saying like Eminem wasn't there at that time because I was just doing my thing, and I didn't even get to listen to the song or get lyrics for it, and we had to all lip sync it. And as soon as I got to set, Joseph Kahn was the director, and he's a big music video director, and he directed movies and stuff like that, and I remember he's like, hey, know the words, get ready to lip sync, and I was like, I never even heard the song, and he got so mad, not just at me, but just yelling at people, get the girls the songs, they need to know this when they come to set, like just no like BS about it. And I was just like, oh god, I don't know the song, but they never gave us a song, like I didn't have any lyrics, so they literally just replayed it a couple times and I had to catch on. And it was so hard. It was so hard. But we probably did my takes. I mean, we probably did 50 takes of me singing and dancing, and I got winded. I got exhausted because it just was a lot for me, and it was just nerve-wracking, and then the dancing. And I remember I had a denim skirt on, and he got so pissed at wardrobe because I needed to be in Daisy Dukes. And yeah, so that was just a really fun experience. Of course, Eminem was so nice. Like, literally the nicest person I've worked with to date as well was Eminem. He was just a really good experience. He was so sweet to me. I think he could maybe tell I was self-conscious. Now, this one I hit it a lot better because I knew what the role was, and I knew, obviously, my stomach was going to be exposed and all that other stuff. So, I didn't know what the role was, but in between takes and stuff, I would kind of put my arms like over my stomach area, sort of. So, I think he could kind of tell. And he's just like, I remember him telling me that he's just like, you... In the behind the scenes of We Made You, he's like, he comes on his set, he's like, what up, I'm Tony Romo, or whatever, and stuff like that. And then afterwards, like, no, hi, I'm Marshall, and like all this stuff like that. So, he made me feel really good, because I remember in between takes, he'd be like, you're like hotter than the real Jessica, like, you're doing so good, you look so amazing, like, it just gave me confidence, and like flirtation to the point of trying to build up my confidence flirtation, you know, when you flirt with someone to make them feel better. I think that was kind of where it was. So it just made me feel really good, and he was so skinny, so like small, and so like more petite, and I don't know, I was more like intimidated, but he made me feel at ease. And then we shot the group scene, the Rock of Love scene after with all the girls, and it just was fun, and it was just a really good experience. And so that definitely put me on the map as far as I had done some plus size modeling up to that point, and that's kind of was my calling card as well, because I did Hips and Curves, which is a website, and then I did Popsy Lingerie, which has a catalog, and I was their plus size model, so that gave me some cred. And then from the Eminem video, then I was able to get my Pipe Dream Products lingerie contract, which is a huge one for me. It's still sold in sex stores today. I go to my Hustler, I see me and my lingerie, and I did 3 cycles of lingerie for them, and I was their one and only plus size model, and I still feel like I I am. For their fetish fantasy lingerie, Pipe Dream obviously does like toys and strap-ons, and they have other plus size models they used before me, but for the fetish fantasy lingerie, I was the only plus size model, which was a huge honor for me, and it was really cool to do, and again, that kind of catapulted me into getting other jobs. I was on the cover of XBiz magazine with it, and it just got me a lot more offers in the modeling world. And unfortunately, around this time is when I got kind of sick, and I moved back with my dad again, and I was in the hospital for a long time, so it kind of took me out of the game. And once you're kind of out of the game, or you're not returning calls, or you're just saying no, you're not really working, people kind of tend to forget about you, which is kind of sucks, but it's okay because I ended up coming back to LA and rebranding myself and all that stuff. So that was the M&M video. So there were other bits and parts that I got. I did the Sleepless in Silver Lake video, which was a La Savvy Fav video, which was Adult Swim, which I got from my Adult Swim peeps. And it was great because I got to play Marilyn Monroe, and it's a wonderful video. It's shot so beautiful. It's shot all around LA, and it follows me, a silver statue guy, and a Jerry Lewis impersonator, and it's really fun. It's a really cute story, and I just, that was another one where I got to be the lead for, and that was the one to date that I got paid the most for. And so I remember getting a couple thousand for that and just thinking like, oh my gosh, this is me, this is my career. But after I did the La Savvy Fave video, when I came back, I just really wasn't booking as much anymore, and so I, you know, of course I had to do dancing still, and you know, fall back, and it kind of was disheartening. And then I just, you know, I did a series of music videos that were more low budget, not really for anyone. There was one, and I really honestly can't remember the name, otherwise I would totally tell you and I would link it, but it's a weird video on YouTube, and it's this black guy, it's like a 50-year-old black guy singing, "When I tell you, I love you, girl." Maybe it's called True Love or something. It was a weird video in like someone's garage, and it's me dancing in like a bikini. When I tell you, I love you, girl. When I true love for you. It's a weird song, and it was a weird experience. So it kind of like lost my passion for music videos, but so I was just like, oh, I gotta like do something else. And that's kind of when I not found YouTube, but really started doing my YouTube, because I really loved performing, and I liked the rush that music videos gave me. So I would do lip syncs on YouTube that are still up, I'm sure, and I would, you know, just start doing random YouTube things. I have like a sexy Michael Jackson dance. I don't even know if that's still up. I'm sure it is. I think I was like dancing to Who Is It or something, and from that one I got a comment saying that someone wanted to cast me in a music video, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is another like in the garage, like dancing on in front of a green screen to like this weird guy singing. Like I was like, oh, okay. So I like responded to the comment, and I'm like, private message me, whatever. And at that time, I was getting no private messages, so it was like easy to find. And they're like, hey, we're doing this music video, and we really want you to be a part of it. The director really wants you to be a part of it. And I didn't know who the director was, and you know, they didn't tell me his name, they didn't tell me the artist or anything. They're just like, we want you to be a blonde on Hollywood Boulevard. I was like, whatever, it's Hollywood Boulevard, like that's where I used to live. And I was just like, okay, it's money, like let's just do it, you know, because I don't know, like I said, at that point I had done a string of not M&M videos, we'll just put it that way, just like a string of like low budget M&Ms. And I'm not gonna say all bad about low budget, because I did find Shane Dawson's casting on my LA casting site, where I was in the One Who Turned You Gay video. That Shane did, and so that's actually kind of why I really started doing YouTube, because I was seeing that Shane was doing all this stuff just for YouTube, and so it kind of motivated me. It really did. And I wasn't a huge YouTuber. I think I might have had like 15,000 subscribers at the time when I did the Shane video, and I was just casted as a stripper. And there was the YouTube side I specifically remember, which was like Lisa and Bree and Steve and all those people that were on YouTube, and Kate. And then there was like the actor side, the ones that were like getting paid to be there. Like, I mean, not a lot, but you know what I mean? Like the actors that they hire were on another side. So I was on the actor side, and there was the YouTuber side, and who knew one day that we would collide. But yeah, that was great is what I'm saying. Like, not all low budget's bad. Like, that experience was obviously really great for me, and that was really fun. And Shane's shoots, I've only done one big shoot like that. That was the only one I've done for Shane, like a big shoot like that, and it was just so fun. He was so polite, and everyone was so professional, and it was just, oh, it was so much fun. Now I'm getting distracted. So, as I was saying, so the shoot, this like low budget sort of shoot, I guess is what you would say, was like literally right across from my old apartments where I used to live when I did the Amy Winehouse video. Like, the Amy Winehouse video was close, whereas like walking distance, like it probably took me like 15 minutes to walk. But this one was literally like a 2-second walk, like right across the way. Now they're like condos, and it's really built up and really nice over there, but at the time, it was just like an abandoned parking lot and a Burger King. It's Hollywood and Highland, but it's actually Yucca and Highland, so it's just like right up the street from Hollywood and Highland, which is basically like living in Times Square. Like it's just a huge tourist attraction, and it was right across the street was the Holding. So I was like, oh my god, this is so weird. Like it was so trippy to be back, but it was so cool nonetheless. And it was fun. Like it was a cool shop vibe. I was one of the first people to get there because I was living in the Valley at the time. So I was one of the first people to get there, and I was just chilling on set, like not really knowing anything. And then two of the other girls that were in my scene came. So we this was a music video where we didn't have to sit around, well, we did in particular, because you were shooting separate scenes. There was like separate scenarios happening in the music video. So our scene was being shot, and then usually you could like just go home and come back. But considering we were in another shot later in the day, which had to be at night, we had to like literally stay there for like 8 hours, which in a music video you're normally booked for up to 12 hours, and then after that is usually overtime. Sometimes not, sometimes it's just a flat fee for a music video. So we were booked for 12 hours, so even though some people got to like leave and come back, like we definitely had to stay, which was okay because I did meet this really sweet girl named Megan who is on my Facebook, and I think her name is, oh no, her name was Tiffany, that's it. I think it's Tiffany Megan or Tiffany Megan, and her husband was there, and they were like really sweet. And then she ended up taking me out to lunch, and she was like my age, but again, a bleach blonde girl, and I think her husband or something was rich, and she had like an iPad and was all fancy. It's like, girl, let me take you out. I love taking girls out and blah, blah, blah. So it was like a really cool thing. Like I said, she was my age at the time, so, and I was like broke, so that was cool that she like paid for me. We went to Hard Rock and had like lunch and stuff, and then we had to come back. But anyways, I kind of just like went all over the place, but it was a really fun shoot. It was like really quick, like our part was really quick. And now what was really cool is we shot this on Hollywood Boulevard, and so right away you're gonna get a lot of attraction for shooting something on Hollywood Boulevard, and you need a permit to shoot on the actual like Walk of Fame. You can shoot on the sidewalk all you want, but to get it like cleared off, like use the Chinese Man Theater, like you have to have a permit. So I knew it was like a big deal that they got a permit for this, and that like things were getting cleared off. There was paparazzi around because the first AD was, he took us to the location and showed us like where we were going to be and everything, and there was just like a lot of paparazzi. We're like, this is so weird. Maybe this is for like a really big artist. Maybe it's kept under wraps. I didn't know. So when we went back into Holding, which again is not that far from the Hollywood Boulevard, it was like just a few minute walk. We went back to Holding, and we go to sit on our like little fold out chairs, and there's also like a couch, like kind of an older couch there, and on the older couch is this man who's so hot. Like the first thing I noticed, like there is something about celebrities or models or people who make their career out of entertainment or performing, and they just stand out to you. Like a lot of people are like, I don't think I'd recognize that celebrity in person, and I'm normally like that too, but there is like this, it's like this glow around them. There is that certain something special, this like it thing that you're drawn to them, because any celebrity I've seen, whether I find them attractive or not in the movies, like when I see them, my attention goes to them. And so this man was sitting on a couch, and immediately my attention went to him. Not only was he so attractive, but it was just like this energy that like we were all kind of drawn to him in a way that we didn't know who he was at first, but we were still drawn to him because we couldn't really see. We were still so far away, but we saw like a man on the couch. We were like, ooh, there's a guy on the couch, like us three girls, and we got along really great. You don't always get along with music video girls, but we got along really great. And so we went over, and oh my gosh, when we got closer, I think we are all being really professional, because I think we all had worked on so many music videos up to that point. The one girl just got done doing a Michael Bublé shoot, and Tiffany, you know, she was doing shoots and stuff. So I think we were all just being really professional, really cool. Me too. But it was Matthew McConaughey, and we're like, what is Matthew McConaughey doing here? I see this video. What is happening? Lo and behold, he stands up, he says, how you doing, ladies? And I was just like, oh, why is he here? Why is he talking to us? Like, oh my gosh. So sweet, so nice. And we find out he is the director of this video. So it was a Jamie Johnson video called Playing the Part, which I guess they're just friends, him and this Jamie Johnson guy, because I've never heard of Jamie Johnson before. But it's called Playing the Part, and it's a really cute video, and I'm in it for like a whole 5 seconds, but it's like about a gorilla going around LA. It's like weird, of course, playing a blonde stereotype again, and yes, I know I was a lot thinner there, you don't have to tell me, but yeah, so I remember it was like really cool. And so, what I specifically remember about Matthew McConaughey, there was like, well, there's two big things. So one that was when we went out to Hollywood Boulevard, he had like a what kind of mask did he have on? Like maybe a gorilla, maybe he had a gorilla mask on. I think he was a gorilla mask on because he didn't really want people to come up and take pictures, but people already knew, paparazzi already knew he was there, paparazzi knew it was him. And I remember being in a few of those like tabloid magazines, and it was saying like Matthew McConaughey and gorilla mask with mystery blondes. It was like, it was kind of like scandalous, even though it was like clearly we were filming something, but I remember that and it was like a huge deal. There was a lot of like pandemonium around it and around him. And his directing, I have a couple of shots of him directing me. I'll see if I can find them and insert them here. But yeah, he would like direct us on how to be, how to act, kind of like we're stumbling out of the club. And I remember he commented on my feet a lot, like, do your feet hurt in those shoes? Which they didn't. And at that time, I could wear 7-inch stripper stilettos and like not have a problem with it, and they didn't really hurt, but he liked them, and they had little like duckies floating around in the like little platform, because there was like a stripper kind of heel with a clear platform, and there's little duckies in there, and he really liked them. But even in between shots, and the other thing I remember, because in between shots he was really nice, but the other thing I really remember is him telling me that I was like what was the word, gorgeous, pretty, beautiful, something along those lines, and he said it just to me, and it made me feel really cool and really special. And that only happened to me a couple times where I'm like picked out of a crowd to be told I'm like beautiful. The other time was The Car Show, which was a show on Speed TV with Adam Carolla and John Sally, and that one there was a lot of girls. There was like maybe 50 girls. There was team implants and team non-implants, and we were trying to see how many could fit into the Mini Coopers, see how many girls could fit into it. So we had like our fake implant team, and then we had like the natural girls to see how many could fit into this Mini Cooper. And backstage, and even on the show, I was one of the only girls that got to speak and like got interviewed by John Sally. But even backstage, I remember John Sally coming up to me and just being like, damn, you're so beautiful. And it was really cool, because I can get self-conscious, especially when I'm around other girls, especially other girls with implants that are perkier and they're skinnier, and we all had to wear spandex and we all had to wear the same top. So I just was feeling maybe a little insecure, and then when he came and said that, he's just like, damn, you're like so beautiful, like you remind me of, I think he reminded me of Coco, I think was the reference he made. And I remember all the other girls like being like, oh my god, like, because you know, when like the star of something talks to you, it's a big deal, because usually they don't interact with extras that often. And then on the show, he was the one that pulled me out and grabbed my hand and talked to me, and he was just, oh, so it was really cool. It was really cool, and he was really hot too. And Matthew McConaughey was the exact same way. I just remember being like, oh my god, I felt so special. Like there were so many extras around, and him just like telling me, you know what? It happened one other time. It's like there's like sometimes those moments when someone like locks eyes with you and like, wow, you're really beautiful. The other time I remember was it was just like a short film. Or no, it was a feature film, but it wasn't like really. It was just like a low budget independent one. It might be on Netflix now. It's called Gizas. I think his name Gizas, and I used to keep in touch with that director for a while. The director's name was Jacko, and I remember, again, I was just like an extra blondes in there. I was like bored blonde or something, #1 was my role, and I remember he was like going through everything, like lining us up, like going crazy because he was the director, and I remember he's just like, oh my god, you're like really beautiful. He's like British, and I was just like, thanks, like totally taken aback, because he was like just all over the place, and I was just like, thanks, like, yeah, it was a cool thing. So you remember those moments when people lock eyes. So guys, always tell girls they're beautiful if you ever get the chance to. And for those, like I said, those were extra special because I was like in a sea of other girls that were there, and it's cool to get kind of singled out for that, and especially when you're feeling kind of insecure. So all of them, John Sally, Jacko, and then Matthew McConaughey just telling me that I'm like beautiful, it's like kind of made me really happy, and it made my whole day. And so I didn't really mind sticking around for the whole, what was it, like a 12-hour shoot till nighttime, because Matthew McConaughey was directing and I was all about it. And it was really, really cool, and it was a cool thing. But I think he was like married with like kids at the time, but I just remember fantasizing in my head like, oh my god, me and Matthew McConaughey can get married and we're gonna be this power couple. Like, it was so crazy. But yeah, it was really cool. That was really cool. And this video is literally going on so long. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to just wrap it up. So basically that was one of the last music videos I did. Well, not the last, but it was the last one that I was actively seeking, because it was so good, and I had done so many shitty ones like right before that like made me feel cheesy or cheap, or I don't know, like this is not what I came out here to do sort of thing. And that one felt so good that I felt like it was a good going out sort of like leave off, like Matthew McConaughey directing, and I got to wear my little sequins number, and it was, you know, it was a long day, and but all in all, it was a good note to end on for me. But I did do some music videos after that, and they were all ones that specifically contacted me, and to this day, not that I don't want it to come off snobby or anything like that, because never say never, I could always go back, but you know, for me, music videos just aren't they just not my cup of tea. Even when I did need the money and stuff like that, you know, the $100 to $200 a day, whatever they would pay, I still didn't have a passion for it. And no matter what amount of money is involved, like if I don't have a passion for it, I just don't want to do it. That's just how I am. And music videos were like that. So at the time, it wasn't like I definitely need the money, and I continued to strip and stuff. So I definitely need the money, but it just wasn't. It wasn't fun, and I always said once entertainment stopped being fun for me, like get out of it and just get a normal job. So for me, even though I hated stripping, like it was routine for me. It was a normal job like people have to do. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do that because music videos are no longer fun, and that's why I got into them, was to have fun. And so kind of was my last one that I actively sought after. And I think the only one after that, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I mean, there might be some other ones, but the only other one I did was an All-American Rejects video, which I did right before I did America's Got Talent, and I actually have the exact same dress on that I wore on America's Got Talent that I wore in the Beekeeper's Daughter video. And that one was called by director as well. The director handpicked me. And so when something like that comes, when they really want you and they'll handpick me, it's not that they treat you better. It's not like I'm getting like special treatment. It's just more of like I feel more wanted to be there. Like I said, a lot of times when you're background on music videos, you get treated poorly, you know. They don't let you go to the bathroom. I mean, I walked off the set of Dirt. I don't know if you guys remember that one with Courtney Cox on FX. I walked off that set because they wouldn't let me pee. There was another time where I had to like fake being sick, like getting an ambulance called because, which I didn't know they were going to call an ambulance, but I had to fake like that I was having like some sort of like panic attack or like seizure or something, and the ambulance was called. That was a bad thing. But at that time I really did, because we were there for 14 hours and I forget what it was. I think it was some like audience job where we were just at like watching comedians perform for something. I don't know what it was, but I was just like, don't have to pay me, because I was like, I felt bad enough. I was like, don't even pay me. I just want to go. I just wanted to leave, and they wouldn't let you leave. And there was some bad, like they literally wouldn't let me even like stand up to like go anywhere. And I'm like, I need to go. And they just wouldn't. They were just so crazy. So that's when I was just like, oh my god, I'm like having this panic attack sort of thing. And like I said, maybe it was real. I don't know. Like I said, nothing like physically was wrong with me, but it was, the walls were closing in, if you know what I mean. So I don't know, like I said, music videos just weren't as fun. And All-American Rejects video was fun. Again, I kind of had just like a small part, but it was one with the lead singer, Ty, I think is his name. And it was fun. It was cool. It was on the Universal backlot, and like also for experiences, I'll do things. So the fact that I shot at Universal, the only other thing I shot at Universal was Wanderlust, which was a movie with Jennifer Aniston. That's the only other thing I shot at the backlot. But yeah, I just, you know, it was a good experience, and I was doing the YouTube thing at the time, and, you know, I was making money dancing and stuff, but I don't know, they called me and I was like, okay, so like I said, I am not opposed to doing music videos, whether it be for other YouTubers or musicians, or if the part is right, if they ask for me, and that kind of sounds a little arrogant. It's like, oh, if they ask for me, but maybe more if they ask for my type, or if they see me on something, because I'm really content with my job now, and I really want to focus my energy on my job, which is making videos, and, you know, developing my skincare line, and, you know, doing my books, and just music, like doing my own thing. That I'm really content doing my own thing, and I'm fortunate enough to be in a position where I can do my own thing, that I don't really have to do these other side jobs that don't really matter to me. Like, I'm able to do stuff now that matter to me, things that I truly love. And at one point in my life, I truly loved music videos. As much as I love doing this, that's how much I love doing music videos at the time. Like, it excites me. Like, every time I turn on this camera, I'm excited. I have adrenaline that comes through me. I have this energy. And people are like, how are you always so happy and positive and so much energy? It's not. It's really when I'm just on, when the camera turns on, it's like this whole thing. But having said that, it sets me at a high for the rest of the day. Now for the rest of the day, I'm going to be in such a good mood because I love to film, and it really gives me like a great rush doing this. So that's what music videos did for me at a certain point between like 18 and 21. I really had a high from doing music videos, and I really enjoyed it. And so, like I said, I still do like bits and pieces here on TV, and if they call me, like Guinness World Records Unleashed was really fun, and you know, it all kind of depends on the situation. And I'm definitely not above like just being background again. I I think I did, actually, I lied when I said Shane's, the one who turned gay, was the only big shoot I did. I did his Christmas Life video, but you couldn't even see me. I was like literally an extra in that too, but I did it because we weren't like really good friends, but he had asked me to. I think I did a video with Lisa, and then I remember he asked me to, and you know, it's just in the background. So like, I'm not above like doing background work. Like I totally would for anyone if the project is right. You know, heck, even if it was like Britney Spears or something, I mean, I probably would be a background just for the experience, or you know, Johnny Osmond, whatever. So but like I said, I did love it. People make careers out of being background, being music video girls, being, you know, audience members. So there's this whole world of that where you can make a decent living doing this, and sometimes you'll get residuals, and sometimes you'll get a really high-paying music video, and then it's all kind of worth it, and you can just catapult into other things you want to do if you want to go above music videos, or if you're just happy staying in music videos. So of course I do this whole video, and I was just like, I'm kind of over music videos, but the truth is, if I was young and just doe-eyed about the whole Hollywood thing, Hollywood is fun, and when you are 18 to 25, Hollywood is amazing. You know, I've done this now for literally the past 8 years, just hustling, struggling, trying to get work, going to auditions, not getting the jobs, wasting my gas, like just I put in a lot. So it's like I still love entertaining, just I found a different form of entertainment, and that's what you do, you just evolve. But like I said, this whole video was to kind of show you guys the process of music videos and see if you want to do it, because I totally encourage people to. When they ask me, or when people say they're doing music videos, I think it's great. I think it's so much fun, and at those points in my life, I had so much fun. I might have not had a lot of money, but I had a lot of fun, and I think experiences in life is what it is, and I think you should do it while you're young. And then again, it's never too late. So if you're 40 and watching this video and want to get into music videos, it's never too late, because you can be in videos like the Rude video where there's like moms in them and stuff, you know? So I highly encourage everyone to do it, and it's actually really that simple. So how to get into music videos, definitely knowing people and having connections. How do you make those connections is starting from the ground up. So if you have to go on Craigslist, go on Craigslist. If you have to, you know, follow, there's a lot of casting people on Twitter now, which is really awesome, because there wasn't Twitter back when I started, but there's a lot of casting people on Twitter now. Burbank Casting, there's Central Casting, which casts extra all the time. There's Daniel Blackburn Casting, there's Toronto Fear Casting, there's all these ones that cast for reality shows and music videos, and so a lot of times they, you know, coincide music videos and reality show casting. So maybe you go in for, you know, a music video, but they have a reality show you're good for. That happened to me all the time, and it's really fun, and it's really exciting, and you never know who you're gonna meet. That's gonna take you to another place that maybe you wanna be. So maybe you don't have a dream to be a music video extra or music video vixen, but maybe you have a dream of being an actress. It's a good way to start. It's a good way to meet people and have connections. The other websites I mentioned were LA Casting and Actress Access, where you can submit yourself. But as always, I'm a big fan of self-promotion. Dane Cook did it and became this huge superstar. It's what I still do to this day. I feel like no one's going to be a bigger advocate for you than you. I've had agents and managers, but you know, if they don't believe in you, if they don't think you're worth the push, you know, push yourself. And I've gotten all my stuff up to Modern Family, to Eminem, by pushing myself. There's very few notable TV appearances or music videos or commercials that I've done that an agent got me, you know, because I believe in myself more than they did, and that's kind of where I am today. And I still do the self-promotion thing. I just believe in it. I think it shows you have dedication, it shows that you believe in yourself, and that's a very powerful thing. So now when I go into a room, whether it be a casting or a meeting, I have confidence in what I'm presenting, this package, this Trish. And always have confidence when you go to music video auditions or music video sets. They casted you for a reason, you're there for a reason, don't doubt yourself, and don't stop pushing for yourself. And people may call you narcissistic, or they may be like, who do you think you are? But at the end of the day, you have to treat yourself, if you're going to be in this business, like you're an A-list celebrity. That's just how it has to be. And I think once I started like visualizing myself as like A-list, and I still do even though I'm not A-list, but if you visualize yourself as like, I'm someone important, I'm someone you need, I'm someone you want for your TV show, then people are gonna like gravitate towards that and call you in. And I still get called for so many different guest spots and music videos, and you know, if it's just not right, I just don't do them because it's not what I'm passionate about. But, you know, one day something as good is going to come along from all this that I am passionate about, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to love it, and that's life. do what you love what you do, never work a day in your life. Okay, so I hope this kind of helped you, and this is just my advice. Like I said, I'm not I'm not, you know, the biggest person here in Hollywood, but I've made a decent career throughout my 8 years of adulthood doing entertainment, and so I hope I can help you guys with this advice. A lot of you guys ask me for advice. I've done a whole video on how to get started on YouTube, which I'll link below, and I'll also link below the M&M We Made You my talk through of that if you want, and if I don't link them below, remind me in the comments to link it and I will. But I love you guys so much, and I'm so glad you guys watched, and good luck to everyone out there. You know, LA is the dream for a lot of people, and don't let naysayers, you know, hold you back, or don't be intimidated by people who say it's hard. It's hard, it is hard, but if you believe in yourself and you know you have it, come out here and do it, and that's all I can say. And that's what I did, and I don't regret. I have regrets in life, but I don't regret any decisions I made in regards to moving to LA to pursue this entertainment thing, because as far as I'm concerned, I have had the best ride out here, and I'm still having the time of my life getting to do what I love, and you kind of evolve into different realms of entertainment, and that's what's awesome, and who knows where this will go. I mean, right now I'm working on, you know, my skincare line and music, and you just never know where things will take you, and that is the beauty of life and life in general, and anything you do, just put your heart into it. Even if it's not entertainment, you know, put your heart into it, and maybe it'll take you to a place you want to go if you're not where you want to be now. But if you're not where you want to be, still enjoy the time, because we are only here once. Tomorrow's promised to no one. So seize this day and live in the moment and live your life, and eventually you'll get to where you want to be. Positive thinking, treat yourself like a rock star, and that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this walk down memory lane with me. I feel like maybe there's more music videos I'm missing out on, but who knows? If you see me in another music video, tweet me, pop up, I'll retweet it. You never know. Sometimes I'm like, oh hey, I'm in that. Like, that's cool. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. I want to say hi to Rick Moranis, and until next time, here are kisses for my little baby fishies. Mwah! Bye guys.